Hello. Thanks for coming.
Ready for your 73 questions interview?
Yes, I am.
How are you doing?
Excited? Pretty stoked.
How long have you been teaching at MEA?
I've been teaching for about 5 years, so it's gonna be my 6th year.
Have you ever watched one of these 73 question videos before?
To be honest, no, but a little bit beforehand, I watched a few videos.
What is your favorite thing about teaching at MEA?
Everything. Just the students here are like really good. They're like super understanding, very responsible. You don't get that at a lot of other schools, and the schedule is awesome.
What is your least favorite thing about teaching at MEA?
You got to take home a lot more work than a traditional school teacher would. So it's like being a student again. It's not bad, but it's a lot of work you got to bring home.
When did you know that you wanted to be a teacher?
I think when I was like a little bit younger, I always kind of had a weird feeling in the back of my head, like a lingering feeling, that it's like something I'd be pretty good at, or like a counseling kind of job, talk to, like more personal job. So.
Was there another profession or career that you imagined yourself pursuing as a kid?
To be honest, the only things I could really think of when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be a doctor, like a lawyer, or a policeman. And to be honest, it kind of lacks imagination, so not like, yeah, I don't know. Just lacks a little bit of imagination, I think.
What is something about you that might surprise the students here?
I would say not a lot. I'm a pretty transparent person. I don't know. I guess I could be kind of moody, if anything. Yeah.
If you couldn't be Mr. Whi, which other MEA staff member would you like to be for a day?
Probably Mr. Spiegelberg. I think he has a really fun perspective on everything. I think he is really innovative, and I don't know, like I sometimes look at this as a job, and he looks at this as like a pure passion. And I'm not always like that 100% of the time, you know.
Name one thing you can't live without.
I can't live without my surfboard.
What's the best present anyone ever gave you?
Best present anyone's ever given me? Probably my mom, like my mom and my dad when I was younger. They got me a PlayStation 1. That's how old I am, from like Sears, so there's a lot of sentimental value. And my best friend, with the little money he made, he saved up for a PlayStation 4 for me and got one for me a few years ago, and I thought it was really sweet of him, so I'll never forget.
What's the best present you've ever gifted?
Best present I've ever gifted is a lot of stuff to my wife. So when we were younger, I didn't make a lot of money. I got her Uggs when she really wanted them. And what is it? I got her tickets to Coldplay and Red Hot Chili Peppers when the tickets just started getting hard to get for them. They used to be really easy to get tickets for, so not anymore.
Can you rank the classes you teach from least to most favorite?
Well, that's a hard one. I would say integrated math 2, to be perfectly honest. Regular and advanced. Then probably honors chemistry, because like it's just a fun class to teach. Everyone's really responsible. AP Chem afterwards, only because it's like so much you got to do. So what is it? Integrated math 2, honors chem, AP Chem, regular chem, 8th grade science. 8th graders are like the devils, but they're sweet too. And AP Calc. AP Calculus, because I don't teach that anymore, and I didn't like teaching that.
What's the best thing about living in San Diego?
Best thing, it's kind of a cliched answer, but the weather, it's near everything, and most of all, I just started surfing, so I love that we have easy access to the beaches. It's a done deal.
What's the worst thing about living in San Diego?
Worst thing, surprisingly, it's kind of weird. I think we're like technically a chaparral, but like my friend, he went to LA. It told me that in LA they have a more distinct cultures in like a lot of the areas in LA, but in San Diego it's all kind of homogenous, the aesthetic. There's like Barrio Logan, a few other places, but it's like all kind of homogenous for good and bad, you know. It's like all kind of the same.
How do you like your coffee?
I like it as sugary, buttery, and creamy. Probably the most unhealthy you can get it to be. So I like my coffee super unhealthy.
Which historical figure would you like to have a coffee with?
I feel really bad. My history's really bad. I'm not super aware. I think I just watched The Best of Enemies, and the historical figure, social activist was Anne Atwater. She seems like she would be a really intellectual, fun person to talk to, but also like non-judgmental if I ask dumb questions. And in boxing, it's this guy named Jack Johnson and Muhammad Ali. They use boxing as a platform for social change. So, and I just like to talk shop about boxing with them. They're cool.
Some people may not know that you actually have a bachelor's of science in criminal justice. Do you think what you learned helps you as a teacher?
Not so much as a teacher, but I would say as a person. It made me have a better understanding of people that don't fit the social norms. That kind of get what we call in trouble with the law and whatnot. So it makes me, I don't know, I just wish like everybody would take that classes from that kind of major. So, I don't know, they just become more well-rounded, more understanding, out of their bubble, you know? Like, yeah, I think it's awesome.
On your website, you describe yourself as a retro video game collector.
Yeah.
What is your favorite game that you have?
Sadly, I kind of feel bad for saying this, but I sold a lot of my video games to buy an electric bike to get down like a beach. So the only game I really held on to was this like obscure game for the Nintendo DS. It's called Hotel Dusk Room 215. So it's a point and click game.
What retro video game would you like to add to your collection?
Like I mentioned earlier, I sold a lot of my games to get an electric bike. So one of the things I sold was a Sega Saturn console. It's a machine, and I don't have that anymore. So I'd like to rebuy that or re-get that if I could.
You also like to surf. What is the stereotype about surfers that is not true?
That surfers are like really kumbaya, super mellow, non-judgmental people, but they're actually not. They're very immature. They're like kids on the playground, super territorial. They think they own stuff and they think they're legit. I don't know. It's just weird. So I just, yeah, when they have kids, they mellow out and they become much more well-rounded people.
Surfing at the Summer Olympics made its debut in the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. Given the opportunity, would you like to pursue surfing competitively?
Never. No, I'm not talented enough. It's just like any athletics. You have to be super talented to make it up to the higher levels. So you have to respect it as just a really professional sport now. And also, even if I'm not competitive. And also, surfing is kind of like skating. There's like a big culture against it being a sport. So I could see it that way.
You also describe yourself as a combat sports fan. Many people categorize football as a combat sport.
I can see where they're coming from. It's very physical, but no. Combat sports is traditionally like one individual pitted against one individual under a very specific set of rules on what techniques they can use. And that's traditionally, to me, what combat sports is. And that's not what football or a lot of ball sports are.
If you had to box a fellow teacher here at MEA, who would you select as your opponent?
Ideally, no one. I would not. I don't think anybody would. I would want to punch. Would take a punch very well. Or would want to. Except Mr. Spiegelberg. I think he can take a punch pretty good, and I think he can dish it out pretty good too. So.
You have a dog. What's the best part about being a pet parent?
Best part is I don't know, I think one part that a lot of people don't know is I'm actually very affectionate. So having a dog, and this is like my first dog, made me realize like they're like real life Pokemon. They're like very just unconditionally loving. So I love hugging the dog. I love, just sleeping with the dog, hanging out with her all day. So that's my favorite part.
And then the worst part?
The worst part is my dog is a barker. She's a rescue dog, so I am not a very good disciplinarian or trainer. I don't train my dog very well. So probably having to mitigate her going crazy and barking sometimes. In public, I get very embarrassed. That's probably the worst part.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Probably more stressed than I am right now. Because like right now I have just enough responsibilities as an adult to feel like an adult, also with enough freedoms. In 10 years or whatever, I think there's going to be a lot more. I'm going to be like an older teacher. There's going to be a lot of newer teachers out here, and that really scares me. I'm like a senior teacher at that point, and I don't know, just like a lot more stress. probably have kids and stuff.
Who do you look up to most in life?
I look up to my sister. Everybody for who I am now. Everything that makes me who I am now is because of her. So without her, really, I probably would be. I hate to say this, like a little bit more a bit more misogynistic. She really taught me that women are like much better at doing things and more capable than the average guy. So she taught me a lot. She's like my Wonder Woman.
What is your life's motto?
It's actually right here. This is by Conan O'Brien. But if you work hard and you're kind, amazing things will happen. I'm telling you, amazing things will happen. So if you work hard and you're just kind, you're not going to necessarily make all the goals that you set out to make, but you're going to do a lot, and amazing things are going to happen. I full-heartedly believe that.
What is the last show that you binge-watched?
Last show, it's probably not pertinent or relevant to your age group right now, but it's Succession on HBO Max. I don't want to advertise it necessarily. It's kind of a bad-natured show, but it's fun to watch. So when you're a little bit older, I would say probably come and check it out.
What is your favorite math or chemistry formula?
The quadratic formula. It's probably your first foray. It's like most students' first foray into like a really hard formula that makes you feel really, really smart. Still makes me feel that way, so it's definitely my favorite.
What song do you know every single word of? And please give us a sample.
It's by Metallica. It's called Master of Puppets. It's called Master of Puppets. I don't want to give you a quote or say anything. I know all the words, but I'm a little bit shy, and also that song's about drug addiction, so I don't know if it's appropriate to recite that stuff.
What is your advice for staying motivated in school?
I know it's ironic because I'm a teacher when I say this, but to those that are not motivated to go to school, it's not forever. It's only like a small fraction of your whole lifetime that you have to go to school. But it also is a good place for you to learn good habits, because when you get out, whatever habits you created here, they're going to stick with you. So, and it really does build good critical thinking. Okay. So.
What is your favorite holiday to celebrate?
It's actually Christmas. I know it's like super cliche, but it's just a really festive time. Everyone's really happy. Like I don't know. I love the color of it all. I don't know. I just love it all. So.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
Favorite thing to eat? Tacos and donuts. It's like my kryptonite.
And what's your least favorite thing to eat?
Anything that's considered traditionally healthy. So like vegetables, like greens, kale.
What was your first job?
My first job was actually at GameStop. And I actually got hired on June 6, 2006. So it's like a dark path, dark destiny that I had to work at. I was going to work there.
What was the name of your first pet?
My first pet was actually a bunny, and its name was Angel. I was a really bad parent at that time for that dog, or for that bunny. And my first dog is the dog I have right now, and her name is Angie.
What is something that you always travel with?
I always travel with, I know it sounds like kind of overly romanticized or sentimental, but it's my wedding ring. I typically am very inconsistent when I pack stuff, and I kind of take it as like I could take my wife everywhere. She doesn't love surfing. She thinks it's really boring, in fact. So when I go on surf trips and stuff, I bring her along. So with my wedding ring.
If you were stranded on a deserted island, which two MEA teachers would you like to be there with you?
I would bring someone that's really mellow, like a mellow type, like a Miss Mac, Deb Mac, or Mr. Nielsen. And I would also bring like Mr. Spiegelberg. He and I could just, I don't know, like mess with each other. Or if I could change my answer, like Mr. Goldwater, because he could probably find a way off the island.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
3 words. I'm optimistic. I'm also very pessimistic. If that makes any sense. And moody. So kind of ironic, right?
What is your favorite slang?
My favorite slang word is in Espanol. It's chico. I don't even know if that's like really real Spanish at all. It's probably slang. And my favorite slang, like, way to talk is Caribbean. I don't know a lot about it, but I know if you research Tom Hanks's like son, he's like really good at that slang. It's really funny, endearing to listen to. He's really good at it too.
What's your favorite dance move? And please give us an example.
It's a little embarrassing. I love dancing when the music's going, but on the spot it's kind of hard. I could do something with my legs. I used to do this slide thing here, and I love dancing with my hips.
Give us your best impression of someone famous.
I don't know if this is relevant anymore, but like in 2011, that was like 10 years ago, a movie called Dark Knight Returns came back, and it had Bane, like Tom Hardy in it, so I can try to do an imitation of him. There's no need for formality here, Bruce. Or I can do Mr. Spiegelberg, but you're gonna have to ask me in person how to do that, or to do that.
What advice would you give your teenage self?
Oddly enough, I would tell myself, even as a teacher, not to take school and life so serious. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be super detrimental how you do here, as long as you work hard, right? But don't stress on every little assignment and task and try to get an A or B on everything, you know? So it's kind of moot, you know? Just enjoy your life and have fun with everybody around you.
What's your worst habit?
Procrastinating, not enough sleep.
If you could take any class at MEA, what class would you choose?
Oddly enough, I know I can be quite animated. Mr. Greenwood's class. I love his structure. It's just, I like the straightforward, sit down, traditional, I don't know, I just want someone that's very clear, and I think he's really to the point. I love his teaching style, so just a class like that.
Be honest, do you have a favorite student?
No, but there are a lot of students that have known to make me cry or kind of tear up in private, at least. In the past, in the past year, it was really hard. A lot of the students that I started with at MEA graduated, and that was a really tough graduation to get through. This year, it's going to be Jane Myers and Matthew Steele. They knew me actually a little bit before I started working here at all as a teacher, full-time. And they used to pester me and hound me a lot, but I'm going to look back on that and miss that, want that back. So that's going to hurt this year a lot.
Your photo on your website is pretty iconic. Is there a story behind it?
Yes, it's a little bit long-winded, so I'm just going to kind of launch into it, but just kind of be prepared. When, a few weeks before, my first semester as a teacher here started, I was, super stressed out. I was, panicking, and one of the things I had to do was get a picture on my website, on my Weebly website, and I looked at all the other teachers. Everything looked super professional, and it freaked me out, so I made appointments, and I tried to get, pictures, and everything looked horrible, so one night I just kind of threw up my hands, and I said, ugh, I'm a teacher, I can do anything I want, I could stick, candy on my wall or whatever, I don't know, it's, completely arbitrary, so I just took a picture of myself in pajamas, and in my pajamas, and then I posted that up, and it just felt, super right.
Why do you have your students use your first name?
I don't know. I just I saw on the district website that or the district what is it, information that there's a lot of Mr. Trans, and I want to kind of stick out a little bit, to be honest. So I watched my favorite show, or no, not my favorite show, but a show, Family Guy. And the main character, his name is Peter Griffin, and this is culturally insensitive, but his French teacher, or his French boss, his name was Mr. Whi, French for yes, and I could not stop laughing. I was laughing hysterically. I'm that's a gift that my name is Whi, so.
How many hours of sleep do you typically get?
It ranges from 2 to 8 hours, but I would say lately I've been sleeping more like a normal person, from 6 to 8 hours. It's awesome, but there are a lot of times I still need to stay up for 2 or 3 hours.
A lot of students are concerned about your sleep schedule. Why do we often get notifications from you at 2 a.m.?
I think that's very sweet of you guys, so thank you. The reason why is I'm pretty impulsive with my sleep schedule, so if I get home and I feel really tired, I typically just take a nap right there and then with my dog, and I'll wake up like around like 9 or 10 like p.m. and I'll freak out. Like it's like my routine, and I'll just start doing work, and then around 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. I'll start answering emails. That's why you guys get emails at that late.
You use a lot of nicknames for your students. For example, kiddos, children. Is there a story behind that?
To be perfectly honest, no. It just kind of comes out organically. It just felt right to call the students that. But I guess unconsciously, maybe I think that students, like as older as they get, as cynical or jaded as they get, they still kind of want to go to school feeling like how they did when they were young and everything was pure and fun. You know? So that's why I call them that.
Do you have a favorite nickname?
I do. At the moment, it changes, but I just like calling people children. So, hey, children.
There are rumors that you used to stay in your classroom overnight. Comments?
Totally true. I can't deny that. Funny story though. Miss Michonne called me out on it. If I could back up a second, I was really nervous. Like I said, like my first year of teaching, so I went into student mode, like how I used to sleep in the library to like do work before something was due, and like sleep overnight or like stay overnight. So I thought that would apply as an adult. Naively, I thought the students like would not notice the next day, but Miss Michonne and Miss Brown totally like nipped the bud on that, and I think that was for good reasons. So it was a blessing because it gave me a much better balance in work and life. So thank you for those two.
Would you have gone to MEA in high school?
I'll be perfectly honest. I would love to have done that, but knowing who I was and being honest with myself, I was not emotionally, intellectually mature at that time to have handled something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to handle that. Hey, check this out.
Pretty cool. If you could live in any cinematic universe, which would you choose?
Interestingly enough, I would not do like a superhero kind of universe or Marvel universe. That would stress me out. So, give me anxiety attacks. I think I would want something like Studio Ghibli kind of. Like think like Kiki's Delivery Service. It's like really colorful, really fun and vibrant. Joe Dirt maybe. Joe Dirt is a kind of fun, realistic, kind of like as real as life can get. Like that's as far as real as I want it to be.
What is your least favorite state in America? You don't need any reasoning. Just go with your gut.
I'm not really good with geography, so I couldn't really tell you a state. I don't know. Maybe Florida, because Florida sucks. So.
What's your favorite time of day?
My favorite time of day is actually from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. The sun's up, and I feel like if you look through, I don't know, like things, everything looks more vibrant. Everything has like a nice dew color on it, and then around 12, everything just goes dull. It's like really sad.
If you could switch lives with someone for a day, who would it be?
I would say no one, because I love being myself, and everyone I think really should. It sounds, again, really cliche. But honestly, if I could, I'd be like a professional surfer, because they're really good at surfing, and they live a great career, fun life. Not to say I don't. I have a great career as well, fun life too.
What are you most excited about at this time of your life?
Honestly, I love everything right now. At this age, I just got out of school a few years ago. I'm like figuring out teaching, everything, like I'm like responsible. I have like a lot of responsibilities, but just responsible enough. And I don't know. I don't have too many things on my plate. Just everything in life is really fun right now, and I'm like making money, and I can spend it the way I want. I don't know. I love it all right now. This is a great time.
Think fast.
Okay.
Dolphins or koala?
Koalas.
Ice cream or donuts?
Donuts.
Chemistry or integrated math 2?
Weird to say, integrated math 2, even though chemistry is my favorite.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Surfing or gaming?
Hate to say this, but surfing.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I used to listen to heavy metal a lot when I was in high school, like hair metal, like the 80s crazy metal. But now I actually listen more, like I listen to a lot, but probably more electronic music, like EDM, electronic dance music.
Can you give us a song recommendation?
Yeah, Yellow Ferrari by the Toxic Avenger, and like a random song, Midnight by Coldplay.
What is a reoccurring dream that you've been having?
Recurring dream I've been having, total blindness, darkness, very, I don't know. I don't have a lot of dreams, so like I just close my eyes and wake up and everything's done.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is, it is pretty culturally insensitive now, but at the time it was really funny. Joe Dirt. And I still kind of guilty pleasure love that movie. And Dune, because the recent one is like the greatest movie ever made. I love that movie.
What's a movie that you think everybody needs to watch?
Probably Dune 2021. And you can watch the older Dune for like the wrong reasons. It's not a great movie, but I love Dune 2021.
How do you like your eggs?
I like Sunny Side Up.
What's the best condiment?
Total guilty pleasure, but mayonnaise.
Lastly, why is MEA the best school in the entire universe?
MEA is the best because it's a very small populated school, like a small village. Everyone treats each other with a lot of respect. Everyone's really intellectually and emotionally mature. So it's like, I don't know, it's just like close to like a utopia you can get. Like, it's what you would want society to kind of be. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for having me. But I got a lot of grading to do, so I bid you adieu, and you guys have a good day, and I'll see you around.